We have an extended preview at the Bachelor in Paradise trailer, and we are going to break it all down. Hey guys, and welcome back to another Shared News from Home. We've got all the details you need to know about Bachelor in Paradise. But before we get into it, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you never miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, and I am joined today by Morgan Wright. Morgan, Bachelor in Paradise is finally here 2 years later. Morgan, can you tell us the rules of Bachelor in Paradise for people that have never seen it before?
Basically, what happens is Bachelor alum all come to this beach in hopes to find love. They alternate weeks in handing out roses. So the guys might go first, the girls might go first. But the catch is that there's always an odd number of people. So there won't be enough roses to give out to everybody that's currently on the beach. And at the end of the day, they hope to leave either dating, hopefully not single, or even
Mhm.
engaged.
Or some people might go for their redemption story, which we are definitely going
Yeah.
to see this season. It is going to be so good. We have so many of our recent favorites and some OGs. So we're going to break down the trailer and see which Bachelor alums are getting involved in the drama and see if we can predict any love stories. So let's take a look at this first clip.
And now, get ready, because Bachelor in Paradise is back.
Oh, it is back. Morgan, you know what just
Yeah.
came into my mind? You know how every season on Bachelor in Paradise, they do those weird slow motion intros where someone's like laying on the
Yeah.
sand or someone's doing a coconut thing? I cannot wait to see what the intros are for Bachelor in Paradise. Is there any you can predict from anyone? I know that Queen Victoria is probably going to be doing something with like her crown, like maybe throwing it and then like she has her new goddess situation. But is there anyone else who you think will have like a killer intro that will, play reminisce to their previous season?
I mean, I think we would all bet that Kelsey would be popping a bottle of champagne, right? Or maybe struggling to pop a bottle of champagne. Who knows? All I have to say is hearing Lil Jon voice this Bachelor in Paradise
Mhm.
promo is absolutely sending me for a loop. I can't get over the fact that Lil Jon is going to be there as one of the hosts, along with David Spade, Lance Bass, Titus Burgess. It's just going to be such a different season. And I'm really excited for it. It's just so wild to hear Lil Jon talk about Bachelor in Paradise.
Oh, just wait, because Little John is definitely in this next clip. And we also have a look at who might be a future couple between Victoria P and James hooking up. So let's take a look.
It's gonna be bigger, bolder, and sexier than ever before. Yeah!
You're right. Little John is bringing the energy. But I do want to talk about Victoria, Pete, and James. This is our first look at what a potential couple could be. I mean, Victoria P is the woman who called the Bachelor filtering or face tuning, airbrushing her photo too much in her promo picture. And James is obviously the guy who showed up in a box night one on Katie's season. What are your initial thoughts at this potential couple?
Yeah, it's so interesting because I didn't even put two and two together that that was Victoria P. Um, it also kind of looks like Anna Redmond to me, maybe, or am I being a
Oh,
little? It could be either of them because I feel like all we see
yeah.
is the blonde hair. But I wouldn't actually hate either of those people with James. I'm excited to see James a little bit more. I feel like we got to know him later into Katie's season, but obviously Bachelor in Paradise is a whole different ball game. So I think I would
Yeah.
rather see him with Victoria Paul over Anna, but I mean, they kind of remind me of Barbie and Ken.
I'm pretty sure now that I'm looking at it twice, it could be Anna, but I think there's a later clip where it is Victoria P hooking up with James, like again in a different scene. So maybe that's why I thought that
Okay.
too. But James could be getting around, he could be making out with more than one girl. And I also think for his promo shot, he'll do something with his muscles or pay tribute to his box. But someone else who I'm really excited to see in Paradise this season is Tammy. So let's take a look at this next clip.
I'm like all the feels. Are you a troublemaker?
I guess time will tell.
Trouble's kind of fun.
Tammy saying trouble is kind of fun, which is very on brand for her. If you do not remember her from Pilot Pete's season, she was the villain of that season. She got involved in a lot of drama, most known for her feud with McKenna. And here we have Tammy flirting with Riley from Tayshia and Claire's season. Do we think that there is a potential couple between Tammy and Riley, or do we think Tammy's going to be, flirting around a little bit because she does say she likes some trouble?
I do think that Tammy and Riley look good together. I think they would be
Mm.
a stunning couple. I don't think personality wise that they really mesh. Riley was very sweet. He was very soft spoken. And,
What are you trying to say?
no, I actually really liked Tammy. But sometimes I find myself rooting for the villain just like to be different. I don't know. I didn't think she was that bad of a villain. But I don't know. Maybe we'll see a different side to Tammy on Paradise too. Like you said, people do go there for a redemption story. So maybe we'll get a different side to Tammy this year.
I'm pretty sure we'll see a lot of Tammy this year. She is going to be on there for a little bit. We're going to see her a lot more in future teasers that we're getting into. But in this next clip, we have possibly a potential romantic spark between Ivan and Jessenia, two fan favorites from recent seasons. So let's take a look at this.
If it's not hot enough, oh, I won't worry. It's gonna get hotter.
The guys are good looking, the girls are good looking, and I'm the host.
Yeah. And of course, David Spade is the host. Morgan, is there a host that you're most in particular looking forward to seeing? David, Little John, Lance? Is there anyone you're just like, I cannot wait to see them on the beach? Because for me, it's David Spade.
Yeah, I would say I go back and forth between David Spade and Lil Jon just because Lil Jon is so out of left field. You have no idea what in the world he is going to be running around there doing. But I do feel like David Spade is the biggest Bachelor fan. I know we've talked about it, but in case you don't know,
Mhm.
David does Bachelor recaps on his Instagram page. He watches the season and kind of gives us his thoughts and commentary. And, he is a comedian, so he is very funny. So I am excited to see David. It's just something totally new, totally different, a little bit of a breath of fresh air moment, I think, for this next season.
100%. And we also did see in that clip Jessenia and Ivan making out. We're probably going to see a little bit more of them when we get through this teaser a little bit more. But how do we feel about this couple? Because they are hot, hot, hot.
Yeah, they really are. And I feel like I've said that about every single potential couple that we've talked about, just how attractive they would be together. But that's what Paradise is about, right? Getting all the most attractive people on the beach and seeing like who comes out the hottest couple at the end of it. I would say that Ivan and Jessenia, if they do leave together, would be in the top 3 hottest couples.
Oh, 100%. I think Ivan is one of the most popular guys coming into Paradise. And Jessenia, she's known for her feud with MJ on Matt James this season. But in my opinion, Jessenia is just like a walking Disney princess fairy unicorn. So I'm really here for this. But someone who is also a unicorn, but in a different way, is Demi from Colton's season. And she is returning to Paradise as well this summer. So let's take a look at her in this next clip.
Everybody loves Demi in my life. We're already almost naked.
How you ride naked?
He looks really freaking.
Oh my God. Okay, Tia is there as well, but I want your thoughts on Queen Demi. Is she still the queen of Bachelor in Paradise? Because she did go on Paradise a couple years ago, the last time we had Paradise, and she did get engaged to her girlfriend at the time, Christian, or fiance, and they did not work out. So why do we think Demi is back on Paradise?
For more TV time. I mean, was that blunt enough? But I'm excited. I love Demi to stir the pot, right? And that's what she's there to do. Even this little snippet that we saw of her, flashing everybody that was there. She knows the assignment. Demi understands the assignment. She's there to stir the pot, probably along with Queen or Goddess Victoria or whatever it is that she's going by these days. I think those two are going to be the villains of the season, but they make it more interesting. So are they really villains?
Well, Demi is like such a lovable villain. And I don't know if Demi is really coming back to get engaged. As you mentioned, she's probably here for TV time, but either way, she's gracing our TV screens. So I'm glad she's back, but I also feel like this will probably or should probably be her last stunt. Someone else we saw in this teaser is Tia. Tia was on Bachelor in Paradise a few years ago. She's most famous for obsessing over Colton, who ended up coming out of the closet just recently, earlier this year. So part of me thinks that Tia is just coming back for a redemption story in a weird way. What do you think about Tia being back on Paradise?
I actually don't hate it. I know you're not the biggest Tia fan,
Not at
but
all.
she was in a relationship after Bachelor in Paradise for a number of months. I want to say probably 7 or 8 months, but I don't know that for a fact. But look, at the end of the day, I feel like Tia was always one of those people who genuinely did want to find love. She just never did. It never worked out for her. So I feel like. Maybe she's trying to give it one last shot. I think Kenny and Tia could kind of be a good couple together, but I mean, time will tell.
I mean, Kenny's gonna be a hot commodity this season. It looks like he's kissing a few different girls in the trailer. We're gonna see it a lot more as we go through the rest of the clips. But in this next teaser, there is a potential couple between Tajwan and Trey in a crazy game of spin the bottle that's gonna leave everyone speechless. So let's take a look at this next clip.
Good. I'm trying to go to that boom boom room with Kenny.
Girls are kissing girls, guys are kissing guys. What is that?
There
Okay,
it is.
girls are kissing girls, guys are kissing guys. We know that Demi is openly bisexual. I'm not sure if anyone else in the cast is part of the LGBTQ plus community, but do we think that Paradise is trying to get a little bit more fluid? I mean, in this game, it seems like a lot of different people are kissing, and I'm kind of here for it.
Yeah, I don't really know what the intention behind this is. I think it's really hard to speculate from just this 3-second clip. It could very well just be a game of like spin the bottle or truth or dare, but I think I see a little Becca Kufrin in the background of this promo, which would be the first time that we've
Mhm.
actually seen her, which I know we'll see her a little bit more in the extended promo. But look, Bachelor in Paradise is hot and heavy, and hello, just another example of how hot it is all the time.
Yeah, well, the more open, the better, because I'm trying to get on this show one day. So keep it coming, people. But Tajwan and Trey, this is a couple I did not see coming, and I'm actually here for. They are both class clowns of their season. They are really those like oddball, funny, goofy characters. This couple might surprise a lot of people this season. What are your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I feel like I had the same reaction when I heard Trey was coming to Paradise. Like, oh, what? Tajwan's coming to Paradise. Oh, what? Okay, so they would be perfect together.
Well, we'll have to see what transpires between these two, but another couple that might be a hot couple this season is Tammy and Aaron, as well as Serena P and Joe. So let's take a look at more couples falling in love on the beach.
Ready to fall in love?
Wait, hold on. Those your nose.
Grocery Store Joe never ceases to amaze me. Never change Grocery Store Joe. He's such a character. But we're gonna get into this Joe and Serena love triangle that might develop pretty soon. But what do you think of Tammy and Aaron? Because we kind of talked a little bit about Tammy, but Aaron was the guy that called out everyone last season. If you had a problem with Aaron, you were going home at the rose ceremony. He's also one of the hottest guys on the beach, in my personal opinion. What do you think of this matchup?
Yeah, so like I was saying before, I just didn't see Tammy with Riley. I much more see Tammy with Aaron, right? Their personalities just seem a little similar. They seem like they would be more attracted to each other in general. I don't know though. Tammy, I feel like she's playing the field, and I like that.
Me too. Tammy's gonna deliver this season. I can promise you that. But in this next clip, we have a surprise visit from a former Bachelorette. Becca Koof is shocking everyone by showing up on the beach, and she might go on a date with someone that not a lot of people like. So let's take a look.
When you come into this experience, you could actually fall in love.
I think you're amazing.
Both our hearts just skipped a beat, I think.
I can't stop smiling.
I can't stop
Oh, Becca.
smiling. Thomas is making Becca smile and gush. What are your thoughts on Becca returning, and why is she going for Thomas out of all people?
I'm glad to see Becca. She was one of my favorite bachelorettes. It obviously didn't work out between her and Garrett. They had a pretty emotional breakup. I honestly don't hate the idea of leads coming back to be on Paradise. I don't really see why it would need to be a negative connotation for a lead to come back to Paradise. If it didn't end up working out for them in the end, they should have another shot at love. That being said, I'm surprised that Becca would immediately go for Thomas, just based on everything that we've seen in the past. And we know that Becca did take it seriously. She was engaged for a very long time to Garrett. Maybe she sees a new side of Thomas that we haven't seen on our TV screens yet. I don't know. I
I
feel
would
like
hope
even this
so.
smile from him is like more emotion than we got from him the whole time he was on Katie's season.
Yeah, it definitely seems genuine, but I think a lot of people in Bachelor Nation kind of see being the Bachelorette or being the Bachelor as like the most coveted role. So like her going back to Paradise is kind of like a step down. I think that's just what a lot of people have think about this. And we've also never seen a lead go to Bachelor in Paradise. We did see Ben Higgins go to Winter Games, which was a Bachelor spinoff show. And then way back in the day, we saw Jake Pavelka go to Bachelor Pad after his stunt on The Bachelor. And that was an amazing moment in season. Check that out. But we've never seen a lead go to Paradise. So I think that's why a lot of people are apprehensive about letting Becca in. And I think a lot of the contestants might be a little weary of her too. It just seems a little off in my opinion. And then mixed with Thomas, I have my guards up with Becca, to be completely honest. But in this next clip, we're going to take a look at Tammy's arch rival McKenna, who is showing up on the beach.
You make me so happy.
All I really need is you.
McKenna is showing up, also gushing over Abigail and Noah. Love them so much. But do you think that McKenna is coming back to have a round 2 with Tammy? Do we see that happening? She changed her hair, but did she change her personality?
I mean, she didn't change her personality. Wouldn't that mean that she was like had multiple personalities? I don't know. I feel like that happened so long ago. I really hope the two of them can put things behind them, right? At this point, Peter's season was 2 years ago. And it's like if you're not over it 2 years later, you're never gonna be over it. But that's the great thing about reality TV, Zach, are these little semi feuds, a little petty argument here, petty argument there. So I feel like producers know what they are doing when they're casting and when they're picking, who to bring onto the show. So maybe we will see a little bit more drama between McKenna and Tammy this season.
Morgan, I have to disagree. I hope that they are not over it. I 100% want to see them go head to head again. Like 100%. I am Team Tammy going into this season, so cannot wait. But Abigail and Noah are a couple that are in this trailer kind of kissing here and there. They're winking at each other, seemed really into each other. I also feel like they're not going to be involved in any drama whatsoever. That's just not Abigail's personality. I mean, Noah got involved in some drama with Bennett on Claysha's season. So do you think Abigail is making a smart decision in trusting Noah?
Yeah, I don't know if Noah will be getting into drama this season. Bennett's not around, so maybe that temptation will be out of the way. But I actually feel like Abigail might be involved in some drama, maybe herself. A lot of these people did some running around when they weren't filming. So I feel like there's definitely some clicks going into it. And for some reason, I'm getting the same vibe when Paradise and she ended up feuding with Hannah G. I feel like, Tayshia kind of went into BIP as like the golden child. And I feel like Abigail also is going into BIP as like the golden child. And sometimes we see them in different realms as well. So I actually kind of want to see Abigail get into some girl fights. I know that might be a hot take, but it's true.
That is definitely a hot take, and I'm excited for her and Noah. I think they're going to be one of my favorite couples. But this next clip is when things get serious because we have some OGs coming back who have unfinished business. Kendall is going to be arriving on the beach, crashing the Joe and Serena love party. So let's take a look.
Kendall walks in, and that's Joe's ex, and Joe's at Serena.
Why did you come here?
Why did you come here?
Kendall's absolutely trying to stop this one.
Morgan, why did you come here?
Why did you come here, Zachary?
Oh my God. Thank God you said that. I was really hoping you got that cue.
Of course.
Kendall and Joe, for everyone that doesn't know, they fell in love on Bachelor in Paradise a few years ago. They left the show together. They never got engaged, but they did date post-show for up to 2 years. And they ended up breaking up due to distance, probably growing apart. They weren't a perfect match, but Serena and all those. So we think Kendall has the potential to ruin that. Is she back to win back Joe, or is Kendall back to date new people?
Yeah, I is strictly there to block Joe from forming any type of connection with anyone because let's just, state the facts. They were together. They lived in LA. And the reason that they broke up, and I believe that Joe has talked about this on the Clickbait podcast, was because he wanted to move home to Chicago and Kendall was unwilling to relocate, which is totally fine. It's a valid reason, to break up if you want to stay in your hometown. However, can you go into Bachelor in Paradise when these people from all over the country are coming together? You would have to be like very selective if you want to pick the one guy that lives in LA so that you could end up dating him and be engaged to him, right? So I feel like maybe she caught wind that Joe was going and wanted to stop any potential love connections. I mean, in this case, it looks like he has something going on with Serena and it does get a little love triangle, madness involved.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me when Ashley I was trying to block Jared when they both returned to Bachelor in Paradise for season 3 after it didn't work out season 2. And then Ashley ended up winning Jared back after Jared formed a connection with Kayla from Ben Higgins' season. But I don't think that Kendall is going to be winning Grocery Store Joe back. I think Kendall is better off trying to find another connection on the beach. So good luck, Kendall. Good luck, Serena. Good luck, Joe. You're going to need it more than anyone. It's going to be a love triangle to watch this season. But there's going to be a fight this season that is going to drive everyone crazy. It is between Demi and Mari. It's going to be one of the biggest storylines of the season. So let's take a look at the first glimpse of the feud that is Demi and Mari.
Got you a birthday cake.
Here he is with Demi, and I'm right there watching.
Those poor girls. I'm gonna steal all of their money.
I mean, it seems like a lot of girls are fighting over Kenny this season, but we also saw Demi making out with Brendan. She's getting around, she's hopping around this season, which I'm totally here for. We're going to see another clip of the infamous cake, but what are your initial thoughts on Mari versus Demi? Do you remember Mari from Matt James's season?
I do remember Mari. I mean, we didn't see a lot of her because we didn't see a lot of anybody from Matt James season. So I'm excited to get to know her a little bit more. But and this is just my personal preference, but I just don't see why people would be fighting over Kenny. Maybe he's just not my style, but I'm like, girls, really? Kenny of all guys?
Yeah, the infamous boy band manager, but it's gonna get really serious between Demi and Mari. So much so, Mari is going to be throwing a cake in the fire from what looks like the cake that Demi got for Kenny for his birthday. So let's take a look at this clip and then we'll have to break it down.
Bro, it's about to explode again.
The heat is on. That's all I gotta say.
Ah!
The fire, by the way. Suck my.
Oh my god. This is almost more of a diss to Kenny, though. It was his birthday cake. Like, that is almost unforgivable. Like, I know she was mad at Demi, but you're ruining Kenny's birthday.
See, I feel like whenever I see Kenny with Mari and then Kenny with Demi, my initial reaction is like, Mari, don't be mad at Demi. Be mad at Kenny. Like, what is he doing? If he has a real, genuine connection with you, why would he be wanting to explore something with Demi unless he, just wanted to make out with Demi? So, you know what? If that's the case, throw the cake in the freaking fire all day long, Mari. I'm here for it.
It's gonna be an iconic moment for sure. It might start a trend, like maybe on TikTok or something, everyone just throws cakes in the fire. But that is a good point because I feel like a lot of times the girls are fighting with each other over a guy when it's the guy who's playing both of the girls. So Kenny might get himself into some hot water this season. We also saw him on a date with Tia earlier in the teaser. So this is definitely one to watch, but there's going to be even a bigger fight, and it's not between the girls. It is between the guys. Aaron and Thomas are squaring up. Let's take a look at this clip.
Like a storm coming. Aaron is ready to fight Thomas.
I deserve some respect. Don't with me.
Yeah, these two go way back to Katie's season where they had a pretty epic feud. We have seen fights between guys in the past on Paradise, most notably Jordan Kimball fighting with Christian from Becca Kuf's season, and that got physical, so much so that they both ended up getting kicked off of the beach. Do we think the Aaron and Thomas fight is going to escalate something that quickly where security is going to have to get involved, or how do we think this is going to play out?
No, I don't think that they'll get physical because I feel like if they were to get physical, we would have seen some clip of it in the first teaser, right? They want to put the most dramatic moments out so that people get hyped for the season. But, they are fresh off of Katie's season, not even really 3 months out were they because, they're the most recent season. So their drama is still fresh. they probably still hate each other, obviously. I'm just wondering if this is about a woman on the beach, maybe Becca. If Aaron might be into Becca too, which if that's the case, how do you choose Thomas over Aaron? I just will never understand. But I guess that's something that we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and there's like a famous quote, the world may never know. So I don't even know, but there's going to be so much drama as we continue on. So in this next clip, Jessenia is set off and the stakes keep getting higher and higher.
You, and then you backstab. I'm not backstabbing you.
You were me from day one.
We have nothing else to talk about here. Take my name out your
I
I love
literally
it.
forgot that Carl was even going, but Brendan is getting pissed off. Mari and Demi. There is a lot of fights going on this season. Morgan, I have to ask you, it could be from this clip or some of the other clips. Is there a particular feud that you are most looking forward to seeing play out this season?
Yeah, I honestly will say I am really interested in the Kendall, Joe, and Serena love triangle because I feel like it's going to be
Okay.
so intense. Anytime you bring an ex back, especially when they met on Paradise, it's going to be intense. But they're gearing it up for this Mari, Demi, and Kenny love triangle to be just as intense. I mean, we've seen what now 3 clips of the 3 of them together. So obviously, it
Yeah.
does take out a pretty large chunk. This is the same outfit that we saw Mari throw the cake in. So I'm wondering if this conversation maybe is what escalated her to throw the cake in the fire. I don't know. What are you excited to see?
Definitely both of those love triangles as well, but I'm still looking forward to the Tammy versus McKenna fight. I know I mentioned it before, but they were just so iconic on their season. Also, I don't know what is setting off Jessenia because she seemed to be pretty happy with Ivan earlier in the trailer, but she's going to get pissed off. And not only are people going to be angry, people are going to be crying as well, Morgan. So let's take a look at this clip where everyone is crying.
Every time there's some drama, you're involved.
He is a fraud.
Everyone told me, but I believed you.
She's caught in a lie that she doesn't know how to get.
Even poor Abigail is crying. Oh my gosh. Morgan, if you were on the beach, do you think you would feel all the emotions as well?
Absolutely. Anytime there's not air conditioning, I go through these emotions like within an hour. It's like the slightest thing will set me off. And to be in that setting with no air conditioning, with a bunch of people on TV, I feel like it's so easy to just crack under that pressure. And it is a lot of pressure. I mean, I know it's not as much as on like a regular Bachelor season because the end goal isn't necessarily to get engaged, although it's encouraged. I just feel like, they set out some pretty impossible standards. It's like a pressure cooker, just waiting for someone to
Yeah.
explode. So, and I definitely think that because we've had 2 years off, that it's going to be pretty explosive.
Oh, yeah. This is the biggest cast we've ever had. There's going to be 41 people showing up to Paradise. I also feel like if you're fully invested in the show and in the process, you're going to feel all the feels. It's only natural to go through the emotions when you're dating. This is going to be the most dramatic season ever, in Grocery Store Joe's words. So let's take a look because there even is more coming. They try and amp it up towards the end of the teaser.
I want to go home. That's where I want to go.
This could be the most dramatic Bachelor in Paradise ever.
But I do want to talk about Piper because we have not mentioned her yet because she was actually crying in this clip. We do know that Piper and Brendan were actually talking before Paradise, and then Brendan ended up showing on the beach. He was part of the original cast. We did see a clip of Piper coming in with a date card, so we know she is a latecomer. But what do you think will transpire between Brendan and Piper? Because I have a feeling girl might be a little possessive of Brendan, and we do know that Brendan got heated in the trailer. He kissed Demi. How do we think that's going to play out? Because that could be an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, I definitely think just based off the trailer that it's got something to do with Demi because they did full on make out. And it's like you said, we all know that they were spending time together before Paradise. So Piper maybe thought that it was already like a done deal. And then she walks into Paradise and learns that maybe Brendan was hooking up with other girls, exploring other connections. And maybe, that's where this scene plays in. I don't know. I think it's not smart to go into Paradise thinking that you would automatically have something in the bag. Although I can imagine if I was Piper, I would probably feel the same way. If I was hanging out with a guy before Paradise and we're both on the beach, I'd be like, oh, yeah, it's cool. We're done. We're going to be on TV. We're going to be happy in love and it's going to be great. And then to walk in and see that, things weren't great, I think it's going to be pretty dramatic, maybe the most dramatic season ever.
In the words of David Spade / Grocery Store Joe
Grocery Store
/
Joe.
the fallen Chris Harrison. But we do have one last clip, and then we're going to get into our final predictions. So let's take a look at this.
What the hell is going on?
You never know what's gonna happen in paradise.
Next Monday night. Okay.
Morgan, we are just days away. We have gone through the entire trailer. I want you to give me 3 couples who you think have the potential to get engaged at the end of the season.
Ooh, 3 couples. That's a tough one.
Mhm.
I do think based on the trailer that Grocery Store Joe and Serena are going to have a huge storyline, right? We see a lot of
Mhm.
them. So I feel like they probably do fall in love and maybe end up engaged. Let's see. Who else? 3, Zach. Gosh, that's a
I'm
lot.
sorry. Okay, well, we have Becca and Thomas. We have Victoria P and James, maybe Abigail and Noah, Piper and Brendan, Riley and
We'll say
Marisa.
We'll say Piper and Brendan will get engaged,
Okay.
even though I am highly doubtful because Brendan left Tasha's season because he didn't want to get engaged, at least to Tasha. And you know what? Let's throw all caution to the wind and say Becca and Thomas come out engaged. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, that would be something. I mean, there's also Tajwan and Trey. That could be an option. Aaron and Tammy, Demi and Brendan, Demi and Kenny, Kenny and Tia, Kenny and Mari, Kenny and literally anyone. You
Anybody?
guys are gonna have to you guys are gonna have to let us know in the comments what you think about the trailer. Who do you think's gonna get engaged? Who's gonna have the biggest blow up of the season? Is there a love triangle you guys are most looking forward to? Let us know because that is everything we have to share with you guys. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell because we'll be back with more Bachelor in Paradise news. The premiere is just days away. And as always, I am your host, Zachary Reality, and I was joined by my Bachelor loving bestie, Morgan Wright. Our social media handles are on the screen right now. So give us a follow. Come talk all things Bachelor with us. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will catch you next time. Bye.